2-litre Honda Civic with the engine light on. This one's on because of the knock sensor. Okay, looking at a Honda Civic, it's got a knock sensor, fault code P0325 I think it was. I got a new knock sensor and it's worse, the light's on all the time instead of only every once in a while. I'll show you what I've done, why we've got a new knock sensor. I've got this test light connected to battery positive. It lights up when it gets a ground. So I've got this wire, it's going in, not to the knock sensor, it's going into the wire that goes on the knock sensor. And it's lighting up, going into the wire. Okay, I'll show you what's happening at the other end of the wire. It's going to the ECU pin down there, and then going to ground here. So we're just making a circuit. It lights the test light, so I thought it's not a wire. Easy enough, just put a knock sensor in. It doesn't light the new one, so I'm going to have to do some more tests. It isn't a Honda one that I put in, but it is worse than the old Honda one that just put the light in every once in a while. So I think I'll take out the knock sensor and just see what's the difference in them. I might also just check this for a bias voltage that I haven't done before. I was happy that the wire didn't have a break, but I'm going to check it for a bias voltage as well. But I want to compare the knock sensors and see what's the difference. It doesn't like it for whatever reason. I checked for a bias voltage at the end of the wire and at this end. There's nothing. There's like 0 volts. So what I've done, I've got the old sensor and the new sensor, and I'm just seeing what's the difference. They're both plugged in with a wire, and they're going into an oscilloscope, and I'm just, you see on there the pattern? So you see that's, the blue one is the old one, that every once in a while flagged up a fault code. That is the old sensor. That's on the old sensor, you see the blue wire? The new one is the red one, and that's doing nothing. That's just like, there's a little bit of something going on, but nothing like the old one. If I bring that down, you might see it a bit better. See there? It's a little bit of something, but it's nothing like that. So I'm just going to change these over, the positions in the vise, and see if that's anything to do with it, in case it's just that. It might be just where I've got them in here. Just take a bit of setting up. I'm not crushing them like a maniac, I'm just trying to lightly hold them. That one's falling out. They're just not, it must be a warp jaw, but they're both in. Let's just see if switch places. The blue one is still on the old one. I've just changed the place in the vise, and that's still the one with the biggest signal. So we try and go into that, get a better look, see what's going on. Okay, it just looks a bit messy, but the red one's got nothing. So I would say that the brand new one, another test I could do is just swap these over. Put the blue one on there. Just want to be sure that it's not a lead now. Yeah, it's switched. So it's definitely the new sensor doesn't work. So I'm going to get a Honda one and put that in. This box, to be fair, was opened, like the parts, someone's had it out the box before I got it, but it's worse, the car is worse now. You drive it, and the light comes on as soon as you start doing like 30 miles an hour and cruising at 30, the light's on. That one was just coming on every once in a while, and like I say, I checked the wire with a test light, so I know it can, it's got enough continuity that it can light a test light, so there's no bias voltage. Like I've seen people saying they checked different cars. This is a Honda Civic. It has no bias voltage. Whether it's switched it off because it's got a fault code, I don't know. But the fact is, that's definitely not working. So I'm going to buy a Honda one, and I'll do the same test again, but then I could compare it to this one, the old and the new, and see how different they are and see why it didn't like this one at times. Okay, I'm back at this car. I've got a new Honda part that was like a lot more than the original. How much was it, that part? 136 compared to £20 for the other one. So I set up the same thing here. The Honda one that's faulty, rather than the new one that doesn't work, this is the new Honda one. So these are both Honda. The old one that's faulty. And when I tap on it, that's the waveform. Got it set for AC. You see the red one is the old part and the blue one's the new one, and there's more bits there. There's more bits, I mean there's bits missing in the top one, so that must be what it doesn't like about that. And all I'm doing is tapping on here with a 1/2" drive extension again. See how we get different things? That one shows it quite well, there's quite a bit missing on that one. So now I've just got to fit it in the car. So in this case we really did have to buy the right tool for the right part for the car. The aftermarket one didn't do anything. I may as well have just put some sort of bolt in the hole for all it did. There's it showing it a bit more that it's not doing much now. It's not doing as much as before. This time I'm trying it on DC volts just to see what it would look like. And you still get a waveform. It's a little bit smaller, but enough to show you that there's a difference. Still the same 5 volts per screen. So if I tap on the vice again, well, I can make them bigger, but you still see that there's more information on the blue one, the new one. And that's with DC, so it works on DC, you can still check it. Now that that's replaced, I'm just going to clear the fault code and look at the live data to make sure that this one's actually got a signal. So there's the fault code. If it's in focus, P0325, permanent, knock sensor, no signal. So I'm going to just erase that. And then I'll try and find it on the live data and make sure that we see that it's doing something. And then that's it done. There's the old part, by the way. It was open when I got it, like that, so I don't know if somebody's returned it or what it is. I don't even know if it's the one that should be in there, because that's how I got the box. So it's successfully erased. Now I gotta turn the ignition off. Done. Turn on. And just check the fault codes again. No codes. Live data. Then we'll find the knock. Put it in here. Knock. Knock sensor voltage. Okay, that's all we've got. We could look at the retard as well. Okay, that'll do. Get rid of that. And we'll just start the car. Oh, straight away we see volts there. There's no bias voltage on that. It is 0 volts on this one. When I rev it, what happens? Oh, it goes right up to like 2 volts there. Let's see what that looks like on a graph. See, it's going right up there, 2.5 volts. Yeah, so it's working. I'll take it for a road test. So already I'm happy with it. I knew the wire was okay, I just didn't expect the new part to be faulty, but in this case it was like £136 for the new one versus £20 for this one. But £20 if it doesn't work is a waste of money, so there's a big difference in the price. So we went for that one first and it just didn't work, and in the end we thought Honda, and that's working fine. So hopefully this is helpful to somebody, and thanks for watching.